There's a liberal Democrat congressman from New York that we just love because he is calling for the eradication of Hamas. Well done, Ritchie Torres. Well done. Well, let's look at what these people do when given the chance. And I'm referring, of course, to the slaughter that took place on October 7th in Israel. I've been high-fiving someone that you would never expect me to support, the very liberal Democrat congressman from New York named Ritchie Torres. He's getting one thing right repeatedly, which is his love for Israel and the Jewish people.
You know, if I can, you know who else has been showing a lot of support for Israel? Kind of shocking to me. Fetterman.
Oh,
John Fetterman.
We're going to talk about that.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
Ritchie Torres, for those of you that don't remember what he looks like, this is him in front of one of the kibbutzim where the slaughters took place, where everyone in that building behind him was slaughtered. You see what he's wearing around his neck? That's the same dog tag that Will Johnson's wearing and the same dog tag I'm wearing that is Bring Them Home Now. When he was 26 years old, 9 years ago, that was his first trip to Israel as a member of the City Council of New York. And he said that was one of the most formative and transformative experiences of my life and helped make me more visibly and vocally pro-Israel than most people, especially of an Afro-Latino background like mine. Unlike AOC, his Bronx neighbor, who last month called out Israel as a genocidal regime, Ritchie Torres says that allegation from AOC is blood libel, the worst crime you can use against a people from verbally. And he is on his way back to Israel again. He has been a fantastic supporter in the Congress, and he's calling out his fellow liberal Democrats like AOC, like Rashida Tlaib, like Fireman Bowman, and so on, these nutcases on the far left who just think Jews are ISIS, Jews are Nazis, Jews are fascists. They just make up words. They're word salads. I don't think they could define any of the words, including Jew, if they have to. When he was there, he made a statement the other day, Ritchie Torres. He said, quote, "I see the goal of removing Hamas from power is non-negotiable." He said to Defense Minister of Israel, Yoav Gallant, "You're prosecuting a defensive war in the most complex war zone in human history." Unbelievable. He's been coming to Israel for a decade. He went to where the massacres took place. He walked where the people were cut up on live video. He said this is a crime against humanity so barbaric it cannot be ignored. It cannot go unpunished. Hamas must be brought to justice. It must be removed from power. And he said, this is his quote, "I'm reminded of the words of Robert Jackson, who was the chief prosecutor of the Nuremberg trials. Quote, the wrongs which we seek to condemn and punish are so malignant, so calculated, so devastating. We cannot tolerate their being ignored because we cannot survive their being repeated." Unbelievable that it takes a liberal, progressive Democrat to call out his fellow Dems.
I was going to say, how do you remain a Democrat?
You know,
I mean, you see my dilemma here. How do you remain a Democrat knowing that, by and large, the policy of the Democrat Party is to reject Israel because they reject God? This is them by and large. And then you have a few like this gentleman here that come out and they're actually seeing the truth of the matter. How do you remain a Democrat? Because Joe Biden, and I said this to you before when Joe Biden was acting like he was for Israel, and I said I didn't believe it. I'm not buying it. From day one, Joe Biden got on the airplane and went to Israel while he said, "I'm the first time to go to a war zone." And I said it, I'm not buying it. I'm pretty sure you remember me saying that I'm not buying it. And then sure enough, Joe Biden showed his true colors. He's showing his true colors. So how do you remain a Democrat knowing the truth about the situation? Is it because they want to support everything else? Because everything else leads to the same destruction of not just Israel, but the destruction of the United States of America. All of the roads that the Democrats are putting us on leads to that path.
I don't know the answer to your question, but it's a very smart question. I mean, look at Tulsi Gabbard. She got to the point where she goes, I can't be a Democrat anymore. This party has gone insane, right?
Yes. Yes.
They've gone crazy. Look at Robert Kennedy Jr. I mean, talk about a Democrat. My God, they've been Democrats since Democrats started. He left the Democrat Party. He said, I don't recognize these people. His father was assassinated on national television when he was about to be the Democrat nominee, right, in 1967, by a Palestinian militant named Sirhan Sirhan. He's still in prison in California.
Really? I didn't know he was Palestinian.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
He killed Robert Kennedy because Robert Kennedy was such a strong supporter of Israel. Absolutely.
Isn't that interesting? They do not share that information. That should be plastered everywhere, Barry.
You'd think, but that's why Robert Kennedy left the Democrat Party. And the problem is, Will, they don't know where to go because all their other beliefs are the old Democrat Party. And like I often say, if John Kennedy, the assassinated president, who was a Democrat, was alive today, he'd be a Republican.
Oh, yeah.
The Democrat Party left him a long time ago. They went so far left.
Oh, my goodness.
Kennedy would look at it and go, who are you?
Yeah.
No police, socialism, communism, open borders, right? The Democrats of the 1960s would go, we don't even know who you are.
Yeah, exactly. It makes me think about, Elon Musk. He put this meme on X and it shows the center here. And then to the center, it shows on the right, your right over here, right? It shows that the right is standing over here. And here's the center of the line. And Elon Musk, at first, he had it that he was on this side, a little bit left, leaning a little bit left. And then you have the radical left all the way over here. And then the center of the line moved and he went more to the right. Right. And the left went even further. And then they started calling Elon Musk a bigot and hateful and everything else because the center moved on him.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Left moved on him.
He's a fascist because he wants free speech.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
exactly
the opposite of fascism.
Yes. Yes. So everyone who wants freedoms, everyone who wants free speech, everyone who wants to be left alone, everyone who just wants to take care of their family, work, they're now the fascists. But everybody else with all this other stuff, no, they're just loving and compassionate DEI.
Don't you forget Nazi.
Yeah.
Don't you forget racist. Don't you
Yep.
forget Islamophobe, and on and on and on. And if they blanket you with those names, like you, white supremacist that you are, or whatever they called you.
Nancy Pelosi. She called me white
right.
supremacist.
When that happens, it's so silly. It's like, send her your picture. You'd think it would fix it. But logic doesn't have anything to do. If you can't, like you said, if you can't get Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib to say things like extermination of men, women, and children in brutal mass murder should be condemned, there's no humanity there, Will. Those people are monsters. Oh, and Congress people.